All right, let's head up to Capitol Hill. Joining us now, Florida Congresswoman Paulina Luna and Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry. Welcome to both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anna, you've got a problem. This, according to the numbers that I've found, the illegal immigrants flying over into the United States, bypassing bypassing borders, bypassing TSA, 386,000. But Anna, the numbers I came up with is 326,000 have gone directly into Florida. You are, as they say, the league leader. You're the major league leader. How is this possible? How is this policy possible? And what, if anything, can either of you do about it?
Well, obviously, this administration has been doing everything they can to not only lie to the American people about the true numbers in this country. So to be clear, there's upwards of now over 22 million illegals in this country. But referencing Florida specifically, our governor has set forward some of the strongest immigration and counter illegal immigration laws in the country. And so, frankly, if we come across them, they're getting deported. Whether or not Biden wants anything to do with it, he's going to not see that happen in the state of Florida.
But what do you do? I mean, this is an honest question, almost a technical question. If they're flying them in from Venezuela or someplace, what can you do about it? I mean, I know Governor DeSantis has been very tough on this, to his great credit, but what can you do?
Well, I can tell you that we already did our jobs as Congress is concerned. We passed H.R. 2 last year, which was what our bar was for border security. And the Senate has been sitting on this. They've been, again, lying to the American people about what's really happening on immigration. And I know my colleague, Representative Scott Perry, has been on the floor multiple times saying, hey, are we going to honestly allow the Senate to continue to sit on this, or are we going to get tough at the negotiating table, which is exactly what we've been doing?
The other thing we could do, Larry, and Anna and I tried our best, but we could take away the funding that this administration, the Biden administration, has been using to fly those people into America illegally. We could also take away the funding that they're using to bring them across the border illegally. The other thing that we can all do is coming in November, and you know what that is.
Yes. No, I get that. But, Scott, let me stay with you on this. To Anna's point, you've got H.R. 2, which is a very good bill. I guess the Senate won't move it. They won't look at it. Can you stick to your guns on this? I mean, I know you've got a Ukraine funding bill, Ukraine, Israel, and so forth, but people are focused on the border. The border is the border, and it's so important. Is there a way, is there a strategy as we move into this section of Congress, Scott, to move H.R. 2, to press it, to threaten no action on other bills, you know, et cetera, et cetera? I don't want to put up the options. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I agree with you, and I think that my colleague from Florida agrees with the same. Any bill that is a must-pass bill, including this supplemental that they're envisioning, whatever it is, and Anna and I don't know what's in it. We haven't seen the text or anything yet, but assuming they're going to come up with something, we're going to insist likely on passing not only H.R. 2, the most righteous border security bill ever to come out of Congress, but also metrics associated with that, because just passing a bill, Larry, as you know, is not going to force the Biden administration to follow the law. There's already hundreds of laws they're not following now. That's not going to be enough. It's going to have to be tied to metrics. So if they actually want to get that money for Ukraine or whatever else it is, they must perform first. We want cash on the barrelhead. We want to see the numbers come down to the level that is described in any legislation, and then we will give some of whatever money that we would agree to. But that's a concept we need to see. We need to put the meat on the bones of that and need to see the particulars. But that's how it can be done.
Anna, let me go to a different subject, but a related subject. You're talking about defunding these air flights and other matters. You know, we're getting out very hot inflation numbers, heating up again. And the budget deficit for the first half of the fiscal year 24, as you guys probably know, is already $1 trillion. And the year's only half over. You're going to hit $2 trillion. You may go above $2 trillion. There is so much spending, which causes inflation, which causes working folks to lose their wages, you know, stealing their money in the dead of night. Any plans up your sleeve in the upcoming sessions to once again go after spending? Joe Biden won't do it. All he does is tell untruths about it. Is there something you guys can do? If nothing else, make some noise about it.
Well, honestly, right now we are making that noise. I am very proud to report that I've never voted for an increase in spending or a CR, so I'm going to stick to that. But, I do think that this November we're going to have a different president that understands how to run a country and how to run a budget. And so we're hopeful that once that happens that we can, if anything, balance a budget. That's something Congress hasn't done in a long time. But also, to, I think, get back to those single subject appropriation bills. That's something that we actually both fought for back in January. And I think, again, if the American people are really tired of what we're seeing up here, because I know we are, stop sending us the same old people.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask both of you, last few seconds, Scott first. I think President Biden will seek executive budget impoundment authority. This goes all the way back. The last president to have it was Richard Nixon, and they took that away in the Watergate Congress. But for the last 200 plus years, presidents could impound budgets that were either inefficient or irrelevant, non-conforming. Will you back him on that, Scott Perry? There may be a constitutional issue. I'm sorry, will you back Trump on that budget impoundment authority?
I was going to say, I don't see President Biden looking for an impoundment
Slip of the
authority,
tongue.
but I would back President Trump on the impoundment authority. And quite honestly, anybody in Congress, other than my good friend from Florida and a few others here that are actually willing to rein in spending, the first place it starts, and we could be working on it right now, is setting the top line. But Chuck Schumer and President Biden have absolutely no interest in actually setting a top line that is lower than the top line now. And as you know, every 100 days or so, an extra $1 trillion being clipped off. And it's just going to keep going under this administration, which is why the cost of living is going to keep going up. And you're not going to see any rate cuts. And if you do, they're going to be at the end of the summer, just in time for the election.
Yeah, no rate cuts. If they pull that, the Fed will destroy itself. But anyway, you two are great. Congresswoman Paulina Luna, thank you very, very much. Congressman Scott Perry, thanks. Good to see you again.